So, as a tax pro, you know your expertise is everything. But let's be honest, in today's world, the quality of your work is also defined by the integrity of your tools. Today, we're going to pop the hood and see how a platform's deep architecture is the real key to creating a tax return that's truly defensible. Let's dive in. This is a big one, right? It's a question that's probably in the back of every preparer's mind, because we all know it's so much more than just a simple math mistake. The ripple effects, well, they can be absolutely devastating for a practice. You know how it is. One tiny unchecked box, a single mismatched number, and boom, you could be looking at costly IRS penalties. But what's even worse, it can instantly shatter that trust you've spent years, maybe decades building with a client. And that can lead to potential liability and just countless hours of lost, unbillable time trying to clean up the mess. The stakes are just incredibly high. And that's why this idea is so important. To operate with confidence when the stakes are that high, you need more than just software that fills out forms. You need a platform where the foundation itself, the very bones of it, is built for accuracy, security, and defensibility. All right, so let's break it down. We're going to look at the three core pillars of a platform that's actually designed for this kind of certainty. And we're not talking about flashy surface-level features here. We're talking about the internal engineering that really protects you and your clients. Okay, pillar number one. It's the most basic, but honestly, the most crucial promise any tool can make. It just has to work, especially when you need it the most. I mean, this is the nightmare scenario, isn't it? Imagine it's April 14th, the servers are grinding to a halt, and you're just staring at error messages. A platform built for professionals has to be engineered from the ground up to prevent this from ever happening. Well, the answer is something tech folks call resilience patterns. And the idea is pretty simple, actually. Instead of just hoping things don't break, the system is built assuming they will. So if an external service, like an IRS validation tool, suddenly goes down, the platform is designed to handle that gracefully, without taking you down with it. So a perfect example of this is a pattern called a circuit breaker. Let's walk through it. Imagine the system is trying to connect to an IRS service, and it fails 5 times in a row. Now, instead of just relentlessly hammering that service and risking a total crash on your end, the circuit opens. It intelligently pauses all requests for about a minute. This prevents a system overload and gives that external service time to recover. It's like an automated safety valve that keeps everything stable when you need it most. Okay, so having a system that's always on, that's huge, but it's only half the battle. That uptime has to be protecting something incredibly valuable, which brings us to our second and completely non-negotiable pillar, security. Think about it. You are the custodian of your client's most sensitive financial information. It's a massive responsibility. The security of your platform isn't just some nice-to-have feature. It's a fundamental legal and ethical obligation. And here's what fulfilling that obligation actually looks like in the architecture. We're talking about heavy-duty stuff, like military-grade 256-bit encryption for all data when it's just sitting there. But it goes deeper. The system is smart enough to automatically redact sensitive info, like social security numbers, from its own internal logs. So even in the background, that data is protected. And crucially, it securely holds on to audit logs for the full 7 years, which lines up perfectly with the safeguarding rules in IRS Publication 4557. It's about building compliance right into the code. So let's recap. We've got a reliable system, and it protects your data with rock-solid security. But what happens down the road when that work gets challenged? Well, that unbreakable foundation of reliability and security is what makes this third pillar possible, the ability to actually prove your work. This is the real million-dollar question, isn't it? If an auditor comes knocking 2 years from now, can you do more than just show them the final 1040? Can you literally reconstruct your entire analytical process from start to finish? This is where something called data lineage comes in, and it's a game changer. Seriously, think of it like a court stenographer for every single thing you do in the system. Every action gets permanently recorded in a way that is cryptographically sealed so it cannot be altered. It's the ultimate receipt for every step of your work. So let's actually peek inside one of these records. What's in there? Well, you've got the user ID, of course, and a unique digital fingerprint or hash of the exact document that was analyzed. This creates an unbreakable chain of custody. But the real game changer here, the thing that is just so powerful, is the analysis engine version. This logs the precise version of the platform's logic that was running at that moment. So, years from now,
You can rerun the analysis and get the exact same result, proving your conclusion was correct based on the tools and information you had at that specific point in time.
And that, right there, is why this is so critical. This level of detail isn't just for good record keeping. It is a fundamental tool for defending your work and your client in any kind of formal challenge. Okay, so we've seen the how, that super robust architecture under the hood. Now let's get to the fun part, the what. What kind of powerful, actionable insights does all this technology actually give you? All right, check this out. Here's a classic, super simple example of this forensic engine in action. The system has pulled in all the W-2s and the Form 1040, and it immediately spots a problem. The numbers don't match. This is the exact kind of small mistake that's easy to make, but is a massive red flag for the IRS. And notice, the platform doesn't just spit out the numbers and make you figure it out. It gives you a clear, prioritized finding. It tells you straight up, this is a high-severity issue that you need to look at right now. It's not just a calculator, it's an analyst working alongside you. But here's where it gets really interesting. It goes way beyond just catching errors. The platform sees the standard deduction was taken and flags it, recommending you analyze for itemizing. Even better, it notices no IRA contribution was made and suggests a specific deductible amount with the estimated tax savings right there. This is where you stop being just a preparer and start being a true strategic advisor. It's pure value add. Okay, so let's pull back the curtain and see how this whole thing comes together. From just a pile of raw documents to a clear final report. The whole process, it's really a structured, methodical pipeline. First, documents are ingested and digitized. Then, the basic math gets validated. Next, that powerful forensic engine does its deep dive for risks and opportunities. And finally, all of that complex analysis is boiled down into a simple, interactive report.
And the output of all that work is this beautiful, at-a-glance summary. You don't have to hunt for the important stuff. You immediately know where the biggest problems are and where the most valuable opportunities are hiding, so you can prioritize your time and, more importantly, your advice to your client.
And really, this is what it all boils down to. When you can automate all that tedious, high-stakes forensic grunt work, it frees you up. It lets you focus on what you actually do best, providing that high-level, strategic advice that builds incredible client relationships and really grows your practice. So what's the big takeaway here? A platform built on a rock-solid foundation of reliability, security, and defensibility. It doesn't just protect you from risk. It completely transforms what's possible for your practice. It gives you the certainty you need to move beyond just compliance and become that true strategic advisor. So the real question isn't if you'll use tools like this. That's becoming a given. The real question is, how are you going to leverage that certainty to completely redefine the value you bring to your clients?